Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hi to everyone. I'm Nur Safra Muhammad Zafar from University Teknologi Mara, Cawangan Negeri Sembilan. I want to share with you my research that is entitled The Application of Teaching Aids as Thinking Tool in Islamic Education Classroom. Teaching aids is one of the essential elements in helping teachers to provide better understanding of students. Using teaching aids has become an important strategy for teachers to implement higher order thinking in classroom. The using of teaching aid is evolved from time to time. A study on it stated many forms of teaching aid, such as OHP, overhead projector that we used a long time ago, modules, and so on. And current study showed that teachers use technology-assisted teaching aids in teaching and learning, such as audio, video, computers, and software. It is according to Muhammad Zulhilmi and Friends 2019. In fact, the use of teaching aid is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and Rasulullah used various types of teaching aid. A Nabawi teaching aid model, as proposed by Wan Harun et al. 2015, and they developed the Nabawi teaching aid model based on the literature study they conducted, proposed that Rasulullah SAW used himself as a teacher and also used his companions, as-sahaba, and the surrounding objects such as sketches and physical objects as teaching aid. And Rasulullah also used a lot of living materials as teaching aid. And this kind of teaching aid used by Rasulullah SAW is to explain and teach his companions about a problem, especially in matters relating on how to perform the prayer in different situations. And the use of teaching aid by Rasulullah indicate the importance of teaching aid usage in teaching. And among the importance are helping improve the mastery of knowledge and skills, create an atmosphere of teaching and learning that stimulates the interest and motivation of teachers and students, enhance the effectiveness of teaching and learning, and also strengthens teacher-student interaction, triggering reactions towards information reception. What is the problem behind this research? Past studies have found weaknesses in Islamic education teachers in the aspects of lacking variations in the use of teaching aid in teaching. They has been found being less skilled in handling teaching aid and tend to adopt a teacher-centered teaching approach and focus more on finishing the syllabus for examinations purposes. However, these Islamic education teachers realize that teaching approach need to be more student-centered and in line with current demands and 21st learning century. To improve the quality of Islamic education teaching practice, and this study aims to explore the use of teaching aid in Islamic education teaching that incorporates critical thinking by Islamic education expert teachers. The research question for this study is, how does Islamic education teachers use teaching aid in the teaching process to incorporate critical thinking? This is a qualitative approach in the form of case study. It involves interviews, observations, and document analysis as a data collection method. And this research, the case refers to a group of Islamic education teachers that have homogeneous characteristics that involve 6 teachers. And it used purposive sampling technique. And among the criteria that we identified before we select the participants, that is, first, displaying critical teaching in Islamic education classroom, And second criteria is being in the service for more than 5 years. And third is easy to cooperate along the data collection time. And for the data collection analysis, this research, the data collection lasted for 12 months. And data were analyzed using Atlas TI software. Semantic analysis and constant comparison method was also used in this research. I want to share with you the findings of this research. Okay, there are three general themes. There is the first theme is meeting the interest and students' tendencies. Teaching aid in this research meets the various interests and tendencies of students. Like a teacher said in this research is, they said students now love visuals. They like watching TV, and almost all the participants use multimedia that combines audio, visual, text, and animation. And based on from the observation, all the participants were told to us, the students were told to ask any question that came out to their minds. And for example, from the teaching that from the teachers teach about the topic that Allah Al-Hakim, Allah as the most wisdom. And question that students ask from the teaching activity were considered critical by participants because the brief discussions originally have turned out to become complex. The topics of day and night exchanging event was successfully linked by the students to the issue of Earth rotation around the sun, and even fasting hours between different places on Earth, such as Maghrib prayer time from at Sabah and Sarawak and Negeri Sembilan, and even fasting hours that between different places on Earth, and even fasting hours between different places on Earth, different prayer time, and the current detection of crime through fingerprints. And the second theme that emerged is about information gathering. Teaching aid was used by student participants to assist in the process of gathering information in critical thinking. And computer and internet facilities in school were utilized by the study participants to train students in finding issues and formulating arguments. And this teaching aid can give students the experience of filtering information for considering in the argumentation process. Teachers also use teaching aid in the form of printed materials such as textbooks, reference book, as well as books and magazines in the library for information collection purposes. And the last theme is expressing and organizing idea. The use of mind maps such as I think help students organize, categorize, and give a general idea of the concept or content they were thinking about. And the teacher used a thinking story in the form of sheet containing storyline on topic about marriage. The storyline which he or the teacher deliberately created contained climax plots of a story, and there were loopholes which could raise questions among the students. This thinking story enables students to express their ideas in the form of questions and argumentations. I divide this discussion part into two parts. There is first part regarding to the materials of teaching aid that teachers choose, and second is about the teachers themselves. Okay, the first part is about the materials. Participants in this research have trained students to be critical not only on textual information but also including pictures. I think it is a good form of exposure to students. This is because today's life requires us to be aware and able to evaluate not only textual material but also non-verbal language elements. Every day we can see a lot of advertisements in relation to products and services, whether on television or radio. And these advertisements seek to persuade and convince consumers. Therefore, the application of critical thinking through visual materials made by the teachers participants provide a variety of sensory form for students' critical observation. In order to use image as teaching aid that can stimulate students' critical thinking, teachers must choose to display images that have multiple interpretations to generate students' inquiry to learn more. And the second part is about teachers themselves. It is important for teachers themselves to have the interest and intention to develop students' critical thinking skills. This is because this intention is the driving force to teacher to make choices, to do experiments, to evaluate and improve the use of teaching aid in teaching. This is because the usage of teaching aid is using only serve as a tool. And finally, it is up to the teachers themselves to provide and handle the teaching aid. And second, about the teachers utilize the skills and talents that they possess to adapt, to create, and use specific teaching aid to help students understand difficult topics and to raise curiosity to find additional information. And for example, ICT skill teachers use multimedia and graphics as a teaching aid. And teachers who are good at writing use their talent to create thinking story about relevant topics and so on. And the mastery, skills, and talent possessed by these teachers invites a variety of forms of teaching aid. However, the goal of using teaching aid is in the framework of generating critical thinking of students through its characteristic that meets the multiple intelligence of students, facilitating students information gathering and helping students to express and formulate ideas. As a conclusion, there is a need for teachers to structure their teaching by considering the resources around their teaching, including teaching aid. And the effective use of teaching aid can help create critical thinking climate through the lesson. It is hoped that the study contributes to the strengthening of the effectiveness of Islamic education teaching in the Malaysian context and also serve as a guideline for other instructors how to manage their teaching and learning purposely to create critical thinking culture among students. Thank you from all of us.